The opinions and views expressed by individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of this network, their group, or other organization they may be involved with.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 71 of The Indoor Farmer.
Wow.
Can you hear that? You hear that applause? You guys hear that? That's right. That's for us. They're applauding for us, everyone.
Thank you,
everybody. As usual, this is that weekly progress review, progress report on where we're at this week on our knowledge base, on our journey towards that sustainable lifestyle, guys. So thanks everybody for coming in. Thank you guys for hitting out those comments, those likes, those shares, all that good stuff. Appreciate that. As usual, we are going to play a nice commercial reel from the NOK here so that we can get a little bit of time and get our shares and our tags out. Definitely check out what they have to offer you guys. Tonight's episode is special. I did have some content of my own, but we are going to do a special review and a walkthrough of Dan's actual mushroom growing area, you guys. So if you want to call it a farm, you do call it a farm, right? Yeah. So
indoor garden.
There you go. So while we do that, guys, definitely check it out and definitely get some tags up in here. Hi, Kim. All right, let's get that commercial rolling here and get some tags and shares, everybody. Thanks for stopping in. Happy Monday.
Green Irene's transformative health and wellness coaching. Hypnosis, NLP, and cannabis strategies to help you. Retrain your brain and create the change that crafts a brighter tomorrow. If you're tired of battling behaviors and bad habits, or sick and tired of being sick and tired, or poor habits, schedule a call and discover how I can help you using hypnotherapy, NLP, and cannabis strategies. Go to www.greenirene.ca and book a call today.
Put it away for 30 minutes a day on IWK. The IWK 710 Daily Sesh is a virtual gathering where consumers meet up or a toke and some laughs at 7 p.m. Eastern nightly. Originally aired on Info with Kim's social media page, the IWK 710 Daily Sesh is now also podcasted on NOK Network. Rotating joint hosts bring you a variety of content during this 30-minute virtual smoke sesh. Take a break from the stresses in life and put it away for 30 minutes a day on IWK. Podcasted nightly at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NOK Network.
Open your eyes.
Join us on Psychedelic Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Open Your Eye, our 90-minute video podcast with hosts Kim Cooper and Tara Simpson. Joint hosts sit down with patients, facilitators, lawyers, and others in the space to discuss their experiences and endeavors working with psychedelic medicine. Tune in weekly to Open Your Eye at 8 p.m. Eastern for all your news and information from the realm of psychedelic medicine. Here on NOK Network.
NOK Network is pleased to present Ganja News Updates. Join joint hosts Kristen, Tara, and Ron McNabb as they bring you our global cannabis news updates. Catch the Ganja News Reporters weekly on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern as they cover cannabis news from around the world in this 60-minute live video podcast. Stay up to date with Ganja News Updates, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern on Knock Network. Follow and subscribe to Knock Network on our webpage, social media, and streaming sites, including YouTube and Rumble.
Are you a Northern Ontario resident searching for credible information on cannabis as a medicine? No Sir is here to help. Established in 2013, Northern Ontario Cannabis Education and Resources is here for you. No Sir Director Kim Cooper brings you 45 plus years experience utilizing cannabis as a medicine and is spreading the education across the North. Activism, resources, referrals, and more at No Sir. Don't be a jackass. Say no sir to cannabis propaganda with No Sir. Find us at www.nocer.ca.
Yes, thank you.
What's up?
Live studio audience. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for stopping in. Hey, guys, if you're not able to hang out and stay for the show, I appreciate you stopping in anyway. Appreciate you hitting those likes buttons and those shares and all that good stuff. Thank you very much, Steve-O. If you're gonna throw a comment up, make sure if you want to, you can do the comments now that we got Steve-O in there, able to push the buttons. If he wants to mess around on that, you can. Feel free to start just putting up comments slowly if you like.
Sounds good.
We got Timothy in the house. What's up, everybody? Appreciate everybody. Wow, a lot of comments already, you guys. Thank you very much. Okay, so I am not going to lie. I have some pictures and things of my own, but I did not put them into a video today. It was a busy day and stuff. But I had been talking to Dan over the weekend, and he wants to do a full-on tour of his grow space for the mushrooms, and maybe we'll show off what your other grow space looks. I don't know, whatever you got around there, we'll check it out for sure.
Yeah.
And I did put it in the title, guys. It's called Great River Mushrooms. On Facebook, and that is his business name and stuff like that. Oh, is that our little boy in there?
He's sitting there digging in his bed, trying to get it all fluffed up.
Oh, he's getting that nighttime bed ready to go. All right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Oh, poor pup.
Hey, Dee.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So yeah, I'm gonna play some tunes. Kim, I didn't think about it beforehand, but I did load some frosty beats into here, so I might have to just take them back out. I'm not sure if that's going to be a big thing or not. Let's play it, you guys. It's a little loud. I'll go way down here. So I did want to. Oh yeah, it's still really loud, isn't it? Maybe like notch 2. Let's try that. Notch 3. Oh, okay. So I actually think I said 71. This is episode 72. Idiot. Okay. Anyway, thanks everybody. So Dan, I see that you're on a cell phone. Good. So we're gonna want that for mobility for sure. I am gonna put in some of my stuff here. Actually, I have to send Steve. I'm gonna send you some pictures so that I can do that. But while we're doing that, we're going to talk to Dan. Dan, you don't have to go jump in there just yet. Let's talk about. I know you've been on a few times now. I appreciate that. And just in case anybody hasn't seen you or doesn't know you that well, what kind of work does Great River Mushroom do?
I grow gourmet mushrooms,
Right now, I grow a lot of the oyster species, lion's mane, pink oyster, and it's something I just started 2 years ago, so I'm still kind of a novice. But I also make all the supplies too that you need to grow mushrooms at home, whether they're psychedelics or regular mushrooms. So I can legally sell the supplies so people can grow them and they can get the spores from another source. And but I also have mostly I sell all my products at the farmers market. So right now I'm not really doing too much mushroom producing.
So you can kind of take I don't know if you call it seasons, but you'd probably take some time off in between major grows and not bombard yourself nonstop with just turning around and continuing on, because you do a lot of other things. So I wouldn't think you would need to, I guess. Steve-O, I sent you those pictures, and I'll pull those up on this side here. Hey, what's up? Jimmy Mead in the house. So Jimmy knows Dan, knew Dan before I did. So yeah, I definitely like this little bit of a connected group of growers that I've started to becoming good friends with and everything. So I want to pull up your Facebook page real quick just so we can show that off. I want to start doing that more often anyway. It makes sense. We're on Facebook, and this is a good way for people to find you. All right, here we go. Present screen.
But I also teach classes too. That's another thing that I like to do, to educate people how to grow mushrooms, because it's kind of a lost art. I mean, I started looking into it. I realized that this was like something I never even was close to taught at any kind of level. And there's a lot of people who have no idea how mushrooms you can grow them in your own house. And it's just knowledge that a lot of people just don't have. So that's another thing I like to do and I actually teach a couple classes on how to grow and how to cook with gourmet mushrooms. And I have one coming up on Great River mushrooms.
Why am I not seeing it? I know I'm already friends with.
Sometimes it acts funny.
There it is. This is this is definitely weird. Like I find it in the search, but then it just goes to this. I don't know. There we go. That is strange, you guys. Huh.
Let me give it a shot, see what mine does.
Sure.
Maybe I can bring it up. Great River.
I mean, it's right there at the top. I click it. Great River mushrooms under gardener. Click it. Page. There we go.
That's right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. So, guys, I know a lot of people are interested in mushrooms now. It's very popular. It's a big thing. If you're unsure of what's going on, is it okay that people send you a message on here, Dan?
Yeah, that's my business page.
Sure. Well, I know, sometimes that's not the easiest place to get a hold of you. So
yeah, well,
it
goes directly to my phone, so just like any text. So
cool. Yeah, guys, go give him a like for sure and follow the page. Definitely. And he's doing microdose, like the capsules of like lion's mane and stuff. Then also selling full-on mushrooms, and then also, like you said, you can buy the package to do it yourself. I did it myself. I thought it was awesome. Just watching him just pop out there like this. Look at him. He's got this grin on his face because it's awesome. No matter how many times you do it, it's still awesome.
If you want to be like Dan and have a smile on your face like that.
That was some lion's mane. I was excited. That was the first time I've grown it, and
okay.
I've had a lot of difficult time growing it because I've had to deal with contaminations, and I had a weak genetic species. So I actually bought another one from Etsy, and Etsy's actually a really great place to buy genetics for mushrooms, gourmet mushrooms. There's a lot of other really good growers on there.
That's awesome, bro. Like, you got some really cool pictures in here for sure.
Yeah, that's the pink oyster.
Oh wait, is this your
And that's it's called the Gardener's Palate. It's put on by the University of Illinois Extension here in Western Illinois, and they asked me to come teach a class on how to grow mushrooms. cook with mushrooms.
This is what you were mentioning. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's March 4th.
We definitely want to mention the 423. Is that one of these here to grow cannabis? Is this one? April 23rd. Yeah, guys. Definitely, if you're interested in mushrooms and you want to check out a class on mushroom growing,
that's the cannabis class.
Well, no, okay. Regardless, if you're interested in growing and you want to learn from a seasoned professional like Dan here, check him out. This is cannabis, so yeah, I guess I was wrong about that, but still, I do want to shout out that you have a class coming up that people can pay $5 non-perishable food that will be donated to local pantries. That's cool. That's what they have to pay.
Mike,
the other
question.
The class put on by the University of Illinois is actually, you have to go to their website to sign up for it. They actually do all that part.
Sure.
So
that's okay.
I think half the class is already full anyway by now, and they still have 2 more weeks of registration.
Some gray oysters.
Those the Blue Oysters.
The Blue Oyster. I remember that bar in Police Academy.
Yeah. They can look anywhere from gray to a darker blue depending on the temperature they grow in.
What's up, Mike Hood in the house? What's up, buddy?
Hey, Mike
What's up,
Hood,
Ron? What's up, John Doe?
Mike Hood has a question for you, Dan.
You'll see that when we tour. They do go straight from a bag. Yes.
Okay. Great.
Yep, I have one that I got from him. That's it's like I cut it open too much though, right, Dan? Remember you saw that and it was like, holy cow!
Yeah, you kind of if you cut it too far open, you dry it out too much.
It was like cut a horseshoe size shape or like a shape or something like that. I forget what it read, but I was like, oh. And then so I cut like a mouth, and then that whole flap was open. C-Los in the house. What's up, buddy?
C-Los.
All right, I have to turn that up a couple more notches. There, that's better. Yeah, so that was my first time trying to do it, but I did get 2 harvests out of it. So, hey, not gonna shake a stick at it. Now, going from harvesting a pre-made bag like that to being able to cultivate and get cultures of your own spores and everything like that, that's a whole other game altogether. So yeah, no, I like that, there are people that like I'm interested in growing them, but you are that next step where I'd have to be able to talk to you to get them. Just like growers have to talk to seed producers, and that's that sort of dynamic or relationship, I should say. So go ahead.
It's definitely interesting. I didn't know anything 2 years ago, and I just learned it all in 2 years now. And
what's up, Rose?
I think anybody can really learn how to do it. It's just a matter of doing it and learning. It's kind of difficult. I've had a lot of difficulty. I almost quit doing it because I was dealing with so many contaminations. Because you have to have a clean area. That's like the most important thing, and people run into those issues where they just lose all the work they did due to contaminations.
Cutting corners or being lazy. Yep, I'm feeling the same kind of issues a little bit with cannabis.
So from where I started to where I am now, it's kind of funny, and I can't imagine where I'll be in another 5 years. I definitely, it's a never-ending learning journey, because with mushroom cultivation, you have to constantly learn,
and you have to push through. You assume there will be failure. You assume there's I hear so many times where people talk about growers, and usually in the cannabis industry, that will quit. They've tried it, they quit. They tried a couple grows. I mean, you have to. You can't learn it unless you go through those failures, right? So,
yeah,
it's interesting that people will just get to the point where they just I'm selling all my grow equipment, cutting my losses. Mike says, do you have to have a sterile area even though it's in a bag? You still would want to, Mike. I mean, if you have contaminants floating around in the room,
yeah. And I actually have a clean lab. You'll see that's a whole lab that's actually. It's the most sterile room in my house, and it actually smells sterile. I only go in there after I take a shower, so I have a whole protocol of when I can actually go into that tent.
Sure. Yeah, I think I want to do that too. As I build an actual official grow room, I want to have like a 2 or 3 door sort of corridor that I have to go through, go into one, put on a jacket or something. Maybe one of those like a hazmat jacket or a rain jacket or something like that. and then go in further. I don't know if that's going to be necessary, but that would be like
But
what's that?
The biggest contaminations are ourselves, and it's in our mouth, under our fingernails, and mostly on our forearms. In our arms, we have a lot of contaminations on there. So really, those are the 3 areas that you're going to bring in contaminations into your lab on. So that's why it's recommended to take a shower before you go into your lab. That way you kill most of the germs that are on your skin.
Steps you take to keep it clean and free from contamination. I mean, I would assume you could use chemicals like you bleach or something, but would you do that?
I use 70% alcohol, and I like to use 70% because it sits on the surface a little bit longer, so it actually kills germs. So if you use like 99% alcohol, it kind of evaporates too quickly. So 70% is a really good number because it sits on the surface a little bit and kills germs. But
that makes sense.
I go through about a gallon or 2 of alcohol a month, keeping all my stuff sterile.
Aricia, hello. Shared out. Thank you very much. Appreciate any shares and likes, you guys. Even if you can't stay, you can't hang out. We're doing that weekly progress review. We're talking about sustainability and ways to continue living and surviving as a species. I mean, it's nothing too important, really. You may want to just go and find the next, more entertaining live. But listen, next time you go to the grocery store and think about your food, think about, where does that come from? That food stuff. Does that get made? Does it just come out of nowhere? Anyway, that's what we're doing here, you guys. We're trying to popularize something that should be freaking popular. It should be the most popular thing in the world. Knowing like we should have growers and farmers being our next rock stars and our celebrities, right? Nope.
There should be a lot more mushroom farming. I actually sold to an Asian couple, and they lives in St. Louis, and they said that they were shocked that they couldn't find mushrooms here. They said back at home in Japan, you would be able to find mushrooms on every corner. That mushrooms were more like the population ate mushrooms every single day. But here, it's just not a big thing like it is in the Eastern cultures.
So do they? I wonder what does anyone eat raw mushrooms? Because I know you were telling me that you have to cook them to get the nutrients out, right?
Yeah. There's not many that eat raw mushrooms. They usually, all you have to do is put them in boiling water, and that gets the nutrients out. It's not too hard. Plus, they taste a lot better.
Right, softer, yeah. I actually love to cook them in some butter. I don't know if that's the right way to cook like all those mushrooms, but like if I get some portobellos or something from the store, you fry them up in butter with like a steak or with some kind of meat, and that's how I like them. Or when we used to catch we used to catch golden morels. We'd walk around. We would go down in the woods and catch them. Anyway, you would go mushroom hunting. And what my mom would do is slice them in half and put them in a salt water soak. Let them soak in the fridge in salt water for some reason. I forget why. I think maybe to kill anything that's in them. And then take those and batter dip them and fry them like that. So probably not the healthiest way to eat mushrooms, but they were good. So we will, if you want, we'll just pull up these pictures real quick from myself, and then we can move on and go check out the grow space.
Heck yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm just hoping I'll be able to hear you because the music was really loud, but the voices on here on my little phone aren't too loud. But because there are a couple machines that run down there, but it's not too awful loud down there.
You could try turning your phone down in volume so there's no reverb, but I don't know if it'll be an issue. We'll see. What's this? Oh, I don't need that one.
It's mostly my pumps that go to my hydroponic setup. Mm-hmm. They're the loud things down there, but I guess I could unplug them too.
Yeah, that's what makes the most noise in my grow room is my pumps. Yeah.
All right. I love raw mushrooms, Val says. Well, I guess they're not as nutrient rich with the raw mushrooms.
Which raw mushrooms does she eat? Like
Val, what kind of raw
the portobello wells? But I guess that's a little bit different. Like you can eat those in a salad, but a blue oyster or an elm oyster in a salad wouldn't be as good because I do that too. I guess I have eaten the raw portobello.
I wonder. I mean, the nutrients does make. There is a difference though from eating raw versus cooking things on nutrients. You sometimes get more nutrients, and sometimes you're actually cooking the nutrients out, but you're activating it in certain ways, and that's just yeah. I want to get more into that. I wish I could go to like culinary school or something. That would be cool. But anyways, you see here, guys, this is the cannabis plant. One of the clones from the strawberry banana that had been in veg for like 3 months in like 24-hour light, and I decided to go ahead and try to get it to come back to life. As you might be able to see, there's a whole bunch of like single leaves everywhere on that thing. Let's see if this make it easier. But I'm trying to let it grow out a little bit, some new growth, and then I'm going to chop all the other stuff off that's from before or whatever. So we'll see how that goes. We'll try it out. Not the end of the world, just a clipping I took, and that is the top. I topped it and just stuck it in there, and I bet you that'll root. I bet it'll take off. Wait. So this is my little experiment. You remember that, Steve-O? Little greenhouse I made.
That's right.
We got some rainbow carrots with some microgreens popping up.
Rainbow carrots. What is a rainbow carrot?
All different colors of carrots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen them in real life, but I got seeds of them.
Huh.
Yeah, Val says, yeah, the cap type.
Yeah.
Can't stand what you say, the texture of cooked mushrooms. Yeah. It just depends on how they're cooked. Definitely interested in knowing how to make mushy extract. Ooh, mushy extract. Can you dab with that, Joe?
All right.
I have to toss out some clones, bro. Just saying. I know, man. What are you like an hour and a half from me, Joe? I really would like to get them. I don't actually need them though, because I need to clean, like Dan was saying, I need to clean up and build this grow room that I'm talking about, so that I can make sure it's a very clean environment. I don't have to battle mold the entire way. I don't want to have to do that again. There they are, side by side. Those two down there are just loving it. They're loving life, man. They're the leaves and everything are coming back. Those were all similar to the one that you just saw, except they were the same age and everything. Except these ones in soil are just loving it. Those potatoes are going crazy.
Oh, I see
going
that.
insane. I need to fill them in more with more soil as much as I can get in there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The ones, the big one in the center and the big one on the right in the back, those both only have like a few inches of soil in there. I need to like go in and fill it up. Yeah, I don't really love this grow space either. It's not the easiest to get to them. I'd rather have a light like in the center of the room, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's this one again, another picture. I think that might be it. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, there's a full size. That is the end there. Yeah, you sent me that.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
So
this
now-
week, did you pull a bunch of potatoes out whenever you changed your soils? Or added soil, I mean?
No, when you add, so you add soil because, and this is my first time doing it correctly, is what you do is the potatoes grow up as a stalk, and you want to fill in the dirt fill that stalk up and keep filling the dirt up as the stalk grows, and then the potatoes will end up growing all the way up that.
Oh.
You get more potatoes out of it if you, wherever you put the potato to start with, you continue to put soil in on top of it. Romaine lettuce, butter crunch lettuce, and scarlet globe radishes this week. Growing indoors. Oh, indoors. Okay.
Can you eat a potato at any stage of growth?
I don't see why not. Root vegetable.
Some of the smaller potatoes you can still. I know you can still eat them compared to the big ones too. You know.
Yeah, and when I go to harvest and it's like, say, the leaves on the top are all dead, you can't. No more potatoes are going to grow. When I go to harvest, well, actually they will technically, because if you leave them in too long, the potatoes will grow new potatoes.
Yeah.
You leave them in the dirt. I'm like, oh crap! So I got to get those out. But I had a couple of real small ones, but those I just call them seeds, potato seeds. Can't wait to be able to get clones here in Missouri. Oh yeah, you're in Missouri. That's exciting time, Mike. Everything's gonna crack open for you guys soon. Turning our backyard into like a homestead. Oh wow. Dude, that would be awesome. I would definitely love to get a walkthrough and check it out. What's up, Elisa May?
I turned my basement into a homestead.
Monica, how are you tonight? Lisa May, how you doing? What do we got to eat? What do we got here?
Potatoes.
Potato.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I wasn't seeing potatoes. Always sneak a few small potatoes early in the season. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, I could see that, especially if you have a lot. But for me, I don't want to go in there grabbing any because I'm trying to fill the thing up more and make more. But I don't know. I don't think it matters. Yeah, that's a good point, Dan. I don't think I ever really thought about it, to be honest. Can you give me a tour, Mike? Awesome. That would be sweet. So, Dan, man, the myth, legend, the Big Dan. Look, he's Big Dan now. Big Dan. So you're doing everything indoors, right? We're gonna see a little walkthrough, guys, of Dan's mushroom grow space. If you're ready,
Yeah.
I should ask you if you're ready, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure it's not really loud down there. But
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We're in for a treat, guys.
Well, that didn't work out. He must have hit the X button or something.
Yeah.
Hey, where'd you get that flame background?
Hey, I stole it from a good friend.
Did I send it to you?
No, it's the backgrounds are stored in your StreamYard. So I can't use mine unless I upload them, which I did a couple of them.
Well, wait, so you were able to take it from mine?
No, I'm still in your StreamYard using it, so I'm using the backgrounds you have
I
stored.
did that again. I need to watch my thumb at the bottom of the screen.
How can you be in my StreamYard? We're in the NOK StreamYard right now.
Or whatever this is right here.
Oh, I must have stored them in here then.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
My bad.
Sorry, Dan. Say that again, bud.
I'm gonna turn off some equipment so it's not so loud.
Sure. Yeah, we had a crisis over here. We were trying to deal with flaming crisis. Ouch, man. It's shooting down my arm now. Anyway, no sympathy needed. Creamed new potatoes and baby peas. To know how Dan cleans the room and what he does to try and help keep it clean. Well, he did say he uses 70% alcohol. This is outdoor, mind you, and we grew almost 200 pounds last year of 3 different varieties of potatoes. Wow. Kelly, viva Kelly. You made my oil blend, or you need my oil blend. Maybe I do. I'll ask him.
You need it. We all need it. She makes the best oil blend there is. Trust me.
All right. That's a lot less louder now. I turned off a bunch of equipment, so I can hear you a lot easier.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to turn the camera around.
They gave me a bunch of physical therapy exercises to do at
Front
home.
facing. There we go.
All right.
Can you turn your phone sideways, sir?
So this is
it must be locked.
the area that this is actually my production area. I have all my
Wait, Dan. Wait, it's your phone must be locked. It's the camera doesn't go widescreen. You just go back to normal. That's fine. Okay, so you got like your work area right there. It looks like.
hold on, I got one more fan on.
On an iPhone, if you swipe down and you see like your like volume and stuff, I guess you can unlock it there. Is what I've heard.
Huh.
I don't know how to unlock most of these.
I don't have an iPhone, but
Well, so I'm useless then. I'm just gonna pack this medical intake device here, everybody.
but this is basically the entrance to my mushroom / marijuana room, and this is my production area where I do make all my bags. And I have all my grains over here that I use, and I have all my storage for my supplies and stuff. And there's a whole bunch of equipment down here. It's all automated. It all exhausts. I have.
Wow.
I've been working on it for 2 years, but this is the main tent in here. This is actually the one where I fruit all my mushrooms, and it can hold a lot of mushrooms. And right now I don't have it too full because I'm not in full production yet. But I have enough right here. I can probably make about 10 pounds a week of mushrooms.
Wow.
But full, it can produce probably 100 to 200 pounds a week. Just in this little, it's a 5x10 iPower tent.
When you talk about how much it can produce, are you taking into account what it would cost to make more from this? Like, would you take mushrooms there if you needed to and get spores from that to make more? Does that make sense?
No, I don't need to take spores. I basically I transfer my mycelium, and that's in my lab. I'll show you.
Okay.
But once these bags are actually extinguished, I make these into those CO2 producing bags that I sell at Rosebuds.
Mm-hmm.
So I take these bags and I'll break it down and I'll crush the substrate out, repackage it, and it actually produces 200 to 500 ppms of CO2. And it produces a lot of CO2 for marijuana grow. So that's what I package and sell it as.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys listen to that. He's taking a byproduct. He's taking a waste product that most people just toss when they're growing these, and he's turning it into a usable product that a lot of people would love to have. I mean, the CO2 inside your grow tent is an amazing additive or an amazing boost to your plant. I'm not going to say 100% necessary because you can do it without it. But I mean, man, that's next level when you start pumping CO2 in through your into your rooms and using things like this, especially waste products. I mean, so how many? So we got 1, 2, 3, at least 4 different kinds there.
Yeah, there's a blue oyster here. You got some pink. There's some lion's mane here, but I just picked the fruit a couple of days ago, so it has to regenerate and it'll start growing again. And these bags will stay in here for 2 to 3 months, and they'll just keep making mushrooms. And they'll just do this. So after about 2 flushes, they're not really worth it because they're just going to shoot out like 1 or 2 big mushrooms every once in a while. And like this one's probably been in here for 3 months, and it's probably already made 6 pounds of mushrooms just for this block. And it originally the block weighs 13 pounds when I put it in here, and by the time I take it out, it doesn't really weigh but 5 pounds.
Wow.
So it basically eats the food in here, produces fruit that you can actually eat.
So I still have a bag that's bigger than that. I wonder if I can get another production, because you were saying I could revitalize it with like with water, humidity, moisture.
Yeah, technically they'll keep fruit, and I even threw these in a big pile when I first started in my garage, and they were like fruit in 6 months after I threw them in there. They just kept making mushrooms.
Wow.
And as long as they have some kind of fuel source, they'll try to shoot out a mushroom. But in a commercial setting, they're not really worth after the second flush.
Sure,
Usually,
right.
it's not.
You're wasting time, or you're wasting effort. Yep.
And
I get that.
This tent is actually kept at 90% humidity. There's a device over here that this all runs automatically, and it also fills up with water automatically. And this is the device I made. It's an atomizing machine. I got this idea from another mushroom farmer, and it basically took an atomizing fogging machine that you use for like a fog pond, and it produces. It should come on here too, but it produces. Well, now I'm breaking it. It produces the fog, and then this thing automatically fills up with water when it runs empty. And I have it all set up to my plumbing in my house to fill up.
It's like a flow pump there. Okay. I see.
Yeah, this is a control valve, the same valve you see like in a toilet. That
Yep. I got one myself. I just haven't put it in yet. I wanted to use it for my water coming out of the furnace, the distilled water that I use.
Yeah.
When thing fills up, it can go to a different direction or something like that.
I'm gonna try to make it go on. Huh?
I use it too. I use a reptile fogger with my cannabis plants. It works perfectly. You know.
And you can see it actually has a fresh air back here, and it runs. I actually run the air comes from over here, and I run it by an air conditioner when I need to have cooler temp. Because right now it's 62 in here, but in the summer it can get a little warmer. This the fogging machine mechanism back here. So I made the mistake when I actually put that fogger in. I actually put that machine inside the fogging inside the tent, and it got way too humid. It actually broke it.
So you had to buy a new one, or did you? Are you?
Yeah, I had to buy a new one, and they're about $130. So it's not cheap, but lesson learned not to put it inside with the fog. But it should kick on here. I guess I'll just make it go on.
Whoa! Must have hit
But
this. Oh, hang on. Oh,
I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
I got him.
You.
This whole thing just runs on your regular that thermostat humidor thing you can buy from I think it's Bird, the company. I can't remember the name, but
and all these things are okay in the humidity and stuff.
Well, basically when it drops below a certain humidity, it'll kick on. It just did, but this thing just fell off, breaking my tent. But I have to have this thing that's be taken apart because I do have to clean it, so I can't permanently put it in there.
Right, and that's the thing. That's something I never thought of when I got into this, is how temporary some of these setups are. You know, because you have to take everything apart. You have to do some cleaning. Rebuilding. I just took that down. See what I got that.
Hold on, let's set this down for a second. There we go.
Your phone's gonna go zzz, and it's gonna be too much humidity.
This thing actually forces out up here. You can see the humidity shooting out.
Okay.
And I actually added this plumbing about a month ago because I had issues with humidity being it wasn't very wasn't the same in the whole tent. So I had mushrooms that were not getting enough humidity. Some that were getting too much.
That makes sense.
So this seems to drop it right on it now.
So, question: why use duct like that? Why not PVC or?
This stuff here actually is easier to clean. I have used this, and what happens is sometimes these mushrooms do stay in here a little too long, and they do drop spores, and the spores do destroy things. You can see they're actually starting to eat through my tent floor.
Dang!
And that's just from the spores. They broke my light once too because the spores attached to the end of the plug-in, and they shorted it out.
Wow!
And then there's a fan back here that I have to clean out once a month, and it gets full of spores. And you can see down here it actually dripped all over, and the spores actually started to eat through the wood.
Oh wow! It's insane. I never thought about that.
So the spores are kind of destructive because all they would do is want to eat stuff and then grow on it, even if they think it's synthetic like the iPower flooring. But eventually, these black marks may just be all over. There's a big black mark down here from where the spores landed. But the galvanized is way easier to clean than this stuff. That black PVC stuff is pretty good, but it's a little more expensive. And I have some of that in my clean tent.
Yeah, I just thought because of the humidity, I know that's galvanized and whatnot, but you still over time. But I guess the spores are really the main damage. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I shouldn't let them all fall, but sometimes I get a little lazy, and it happens because you're supposed to pick them before the spores fall. That's when they're the ripest. You can't always do that. And this is an exhaust right here. So this thing actually turns on, I think every 1 hour for 10 minutes, and it'll exhaust all the air out of this tent. And bring fresh air in. So the air is freshly being brought in because they need fresh air, but they also need the CO2. But that's what the bag's for. So the bag holds in the CO2 and the moisture, and then you bring in the fresh oxygen, and the fruit pops out like this towards the fresh oxygen and the humidity. So that's one reason it's hard to grow mushrooms, because you have to have such a high humidity and have this environment.
So it's almost like the mushrooms have to be grown indoors, like unless you really just find like the perfect environment somehow to put a farm.
But
Like,
these particular ones, yes, they're genetically now modified for indoors. If I tried to grow them outdoors, they would struggle. And another thing that I found out is the flies like to lay maggots in them, and it's pretty disgusting. I've actually seen them grow outdoors, and the flies will get to them before you can even eat them, and they'll inject their larvae underneath the gills, and then you'll have maggots crawling inside the mushrooms.
Nom nom nom. Nom noms, you guys.
Those are the spicy mushrooms.
That's another thing we're dealing with when you're dealing with wild mushroom hunting, is you have to beat the other animals to it. And slugs are another thing that love eating mushrooms, and slugs and then deer.
Yeah, that's the thing about anything outdoors when you're foraging. Like, you're gonna run into those situations. Man, why is my shoulder hurt now? Like, all my back pain went into my shoulder. Doesn't seem right.
But these bags are all actually produced from these grains that I have. It's actually that's my grain. This is hardwood pellets I actually bought from Menards, and they're just wood pellets that you use in a wood stove to fuel a wood stove. They're cheap. They're like $6 for 50 pounds. And then I have the soy hull, which I don't have much left in here, but I have a whole bunch of bags in storage. But this soy hull I bought from a grain place in Pittsfield, Illinois, and it's pretty dirt cheap too. I bought it like for $8 for 50 pounds, and it's really, really cheap to produce these mushrooms. I basically take these two ingredients, and I'm able to make all these mushrooms that you can actually eat. So it's pretty. A lot of people don't realize that you can just use those two things, and you can grow a lot of different species of mushrooms. And this is my grain. It's a wheat grain that I buy from a local farm place, and it's used. That's how I colonize all my grains. And basically, colonizing means I'm trying to make them grow and transfer into, so I can transfer them into other things to grow them in. So when you colonize them, you don't want them to grow actual fruit.
Right. It's almost like cloning. You're trying to.
Yeah, you're just increasing the population of it so you can grow more of it. But once you actually want to actually grow the fruit, you have to put it in these bags, these blocks. And these bags, the blue oysters take about 10 to 12 days from when I put them in here to fully colonize. The pink oysters, that's what these are. They're a little slower. They're about 20 days. Lion's mane's about 20 days. And some of the other species can take up to 2 months to colonize in the bag before they actually are ready to fruit. Like the shiitake, that one takes 2 months.
Oh, shiitake.
Well, that's all this other stuff is vermiculite, and I make a lot of other products for to help people grow their own stuff at home. And
I once knew a priest. He grew holy shiitake.
Yeah. But then I guess these are all my other tents, which I'll show you here in a second. But we'll go to this other mushroom tent. This is actually my lab, and this is a 5x10 tent as well. And this is where I do all my lab work. This is where my flow hood is.
Okay.
And I won't turn it on because it's loud. But this thing runs all the way out here, runs the other side of my tent into my production area, and I have a huge, can't remember, AC Infinity charcoal filter. It's a huge filter for an 8-inch fan. And I pre-filter the air. It comes in here and it blows air so I can work in front of a fresh air environment and sterile air.
I saw that before. That's amazing. He made this. Yeah. He made this himself, you guys.
So this is on the other side of this paper is a HEPA filter. It's a MERV 15 filter, and then this is HEPA paper. So this whole thing should get out about 99.9% of contaminants, and so I can do my sterile work here.
Dan, we have a question here, and Wayne Kitchens, how you doing, buddy? It comes up quite often, and and I don't think Daniel does this yet, but I know that there are people that do, and I know it's a lot more tricky to grow morels in an environment. Have you done this yet, Daniel? Have you ever tried this?
No, but you can grow the spores, but they're not guaranteed. And there are people that grow them, but they have $100,000 labs and $100,000 grow facilities. And they don't taste the same. The wild mushrooms have a lot better taste. And it's just one of them tricky mushrooms that maybe someday we'll figure out. Maybe we won't, because maybe just hunting those kind of mushrooms is just a lot more funner anyway.
Yeah, Orpheus, I'll be all right, buddy. I don't know what's going on. My back, the pain is now migrated to my shoulder, which is weird. But
That's a pinched nerve.
I'll give you a back rub.
Yeah, bro, I actually really need one.
But this was actually a bag that I just did on January 29th, the pink oyster, and it's almost colonized. I usually keep them in here after I do them. I inoculate them, and these are actually some of the grain jars here. So one of these jars will make 2 of those other bags. So this one jar can produce anywhere from 6 to 10 pounds of mushrooms. And these are just in here colonizing. That's the pink oyster. You got elm oyster, and got some lion's mane down here. And then I have all my spore work down here that I do when I start a new species. I do a kind of transfer spore work.
Yeah, so they can be stored in the same conditions. Okay.
Yeah, I do have some liquid mycelium, but I don't mess with it too much. I don't like doing a lot of liquid mycelium because you can't tell if it's contaminated until you actually grow it out. And I've had, every time I deal with it, I kind of I deal with contamination. So I just do transfers. So basically, I'll take a tiny bit of this and I'll transfer it into a new grain jar or a grain bag. And this is a grain bag of 4 pounds. So this grain bag can make about 30 pounds of mushrooms. Once it's fully colonized, I can do a whole bunch of transfers with that.
Nice.
Then I have spores, syringes up here and I can do a whole bunch of other lab work in here. But in about 2 months, this room is going to be completely full once I'm going full steam with mushroom in the farmer's market.
Bro, that is mean, man. I'm surprised the farmer's market is. See, I thought the farmer's market wasn't as relevant anymore with some of the other stuff going on, like shipping and whatnot. But so I need to go to a farmer's market this year. I'd like to meet up with you sometime. We'll go to one, see what's up. I've never been to one. Never been to a farmer's market.
This is a fungi I bought from Silver Valley Fungi. I believe it's a mushroom company in Maine, and I bought this on Etsy. It's shiitake, so I'm pretty excited to start growing this out.
Do you know about the hanging bags?
Yeah, those are usually done with the straw, and you can use straw. It's a cheaper option, but it's messy, and you have to have some different equipment.
More easily.
But yeah, I know what he's talking about. They'll stuff like huge long bags with straw and hang them from a ceiling, and they'll inoculate them with oyster mushroom. And those bags can grow about 25 pounds of mushrooms, but it's a lot messier process to do it with straw.
Neat. And I appreciate all this information. I like your creativeness with your clean room filter there that you have. And, you really take this serious. We need more people like you that can come give us the real information, the real deal. Let us know what we need to do to either grow, capture the spores, things of that sort. It's pretty complicated, I see, but at the same time, you look like you have a lot of fun doing it, Dan.
Yeah, it's complicated, and the reason I built this machine is they sell these on Etsy for about $1,000, and I built it for about $300 or $400, and built it myself. But they're expensive, and it's one of the more expensive parts of mushroom production is having a flow hood, because without it you can't really do commercial part of this.
Right, you can't really call yourself commercial unless you're using certain equipment. That makes sense. So how did you get, well, you had other things going on in order to get that going, because Dan does a bunch of stuff, guys. He's a construction guru. I don't know construction. He's also got his own podcast, the Rumination Project. Go check it out.
And I sell herbal medicine, lion's mane, CBD, CBG. But
Okay. Yeah.
that's
Just cut out a little bit there. Yeah, he's stuck.
did I lose you? There we go.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Those
Got back
tents sometimes can lose the signal inside there.
But these other tents are actually all my marijuana tents, and I can show you a little bit of those. This is my clone / veg tent where I start all my new plants, and I grow hydroponically. These are all buckets that I made myself about 4 years ago, and they just hook up to this bubbler here, and they have a bubbler at the bottom, and they just shoot air up through here. I really like growing with the hydroponics because I don't have to deal with a lot of bugs, and I just got used to it.
I
And this is-
agree. I actually need to get some air stones for my aquaponics, though. I just remember that because that's
Those are-
gonna fix some of the problems that I had in my system. But anyway,
That's my clone bucket, and I have a whole bunch of new species I have in here. And for some reason, that one's flowering. It's weird.
Yep, that's exactly what it is, Joe.
Flowering in the. But yeah, I'm gonna have this is another veg.
hold on, let it. It's not. There it
There
goes.
it is. This is another veg tent, and then I have another flower tent. And this is actually a triple. And I don't have the best lights. That's my weakness. I have spent all my money on all this other equipment, but I don't have a top of the line light. I have a,
That's all right.
but it still grows marijuana. I haven't bought marijuana in a year, so it still does what I have to do.
Yeah,
And,
especially if you make concentrates. Good to go.
but this one, I believe, is in week 4, so still got about another month to 5 weeks. This is a purple strain. It's really, really pretty.
It looks purple. I'm just kidding. Kidding everybody. I need my lap.
And then I have these are my other big flower tents. Turn the light off because they're really loud, but I just got 2 smaller plants in here that I just put in here last week. And this is my Ophelia strain that I've actually been growing for 2 years, and that's what these are right here. These are my mother plants. So I have a Ophelia, purple, and then a few other plants that I didn't add here, but probably needs a good trim. My mother plants are a little too big.
Bunch of clones.
Yeah, there's lots of clones. If you ever need any clones, I definitely have them.
I think they changed the law in Illinois, something to do with if it's not flowering, it's considered hemp. Up until it's flowering, and I'd have to look into that. Don't quote me on that, you guys, but I know they did change something, and it was kind of dumb the way they did it. But
I do a lot of cloning, so I haven't actually grown a seed in really 18 months. I just don't grow from seed much. I find a good strain, and I just keep cloning it. And I got this strain from somebody else, and he grows a lot. It's called Turple. It's a really, really good strain. So I'm excited to grow that one now too.
Though, so like, do you think there'll be a point when you're smoking and you're like, well, this isn't doing nothing? This isn't like, because it supposedly will get weaker over time, over several generations of cloning, but this wouldn't be generations. It's the same plant. So
I haven't seen any weakness yet. It's still potent. It still gets me just as high, and actually still tests this is good.
Yeah, it looks healthy.
I was always taught that a clone is a clone. It doesn't weaken unless you change the pheno or do any crosses.
Joe, find out what about the deep water cycle? I'm not sure.
It's a fucking seed.
He said find that out. I'm not sure what he would.
Yeah,
I'll show you this. This is actually the other area I've been working on that it's going to be my lab. Eventually, it's going to that tent that's over there is going to be in this room, so I'm going to have a lot more room to do lab work. And I also want to get into marijuana tissue cultivation. It's something I wanted to learn. You have to have a bigger lab, and you have to have a lot more sophisticated equipment to do cannabis tissue cultivation. So, but this room is pretty big. It'll basically fill my lab once I finish this room.
Oh, Joe, yeah, I will find that out, man. But I know they definitely changed it about that. What are you doing in that room, Dan? I'm sorry.
So this is gonna be my lab. I basically just have to put a new floor in, and that tent that's my lab where I do all my clean work. It's gonna be in here, and it's gonna be about 4 times as much space. And I'll be able to do a lot more work and a lot more. I want to get into tissue cultivation with cannabis, and you have to have a really nice lab to do that in. So that's for once I move in here, I'm going to start doing tissue cultivation for cannabis too.
That's amazing.
And it's just all in my basement. So basically, this is my laundry room here, and then I have everything, all the gardens built around it.
Yeah, with your construction background, it really probably helps for you to be able to take some projects underway and just
Well, this washer and dryer used to be right here, and I had to move it to the other side of the house. So I had to move water lines. I had to move a gas line, and just to make room for this tent here, because this was the only area this tent would fit in down here. So you only have limited space with the ceiling.
Yeah, you're tall. You're a tall guy, but besides the fact that your ceiling will lower your grow height for things, so that's
yeah, that's how it's everything they use to grow cannabis down here, and there's
mushrooms.
Not cannabis, sorry, cannabis and mushrooms, I guess.
And mushrooms.
Interesting.
All right. Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, like I think it'll be a long while before I'm doing anything like that, but I might be to the point where I'm buying bags from you and growing my own. You know, why not? But then I can use the discarded bag at the end for my plants and other things.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Anything to do with any type of growing, just really excites me.
Everything else happens upstairs in my kitchen. I don't know if you can hear, but the pressure cookers are running. That's where I sterilize all my stuff at.
Oh, we're going stairs.
So,
check it out.
Yeah, turn down. So basically, my whole house is dedicated to cannabis and mushrooms, and this is
your business.
This is my storage room. This is all the stuff I do to package my mushrooms and sell them. So this is like the area where I finalize all my sales at, do my packaging. And I do make some.
That's your shipping and receiving area.
Yeah, and for my herbal business as well. And this is my office for my construction business. So I have all my office here.
Very cool.
So I try to stay organized when you're trying to run 3 different companies. So
yeah, you're definitely more organized than I am. I'll give
I'm
you
gonna
that.
turn this back around.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Dan's more organized than I am. I can attest to that. But I don't know. It might take more time for me. I'm a little ADD, so I'll be doing a bunch of things and only so right until eventually I'm doing them all well. Like instead of trying to take one thing at a time, I'm like doing. I had, we'll say, more plants than I needed to have for my first harvest. We'll just leave it at that. But that gave me a lot of lessons too, all at once, juggling all those. Wasn't the most organized, so that gave me those lessons. Like, okay, well, maybe try to make it more organized. Also, make it where you can actually reach everything. If you pack everything into a place or a space or something, and you just can't reach stuff, it just becomes like you just start neglecting things. I can't get to that one, so I don't mess with that plant as much. And those are all lessons I learned the first time. So yeah, like all those potatoes and all the stuff I showed today, I can get to all those. I can pull them out. I can work on them. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you very much, Dan. Appreciate you. Yeah, that was a much more extensive, full-on walkthrough tour.
Eventually, I would like to have a bigger lab, but that'll be once I start maxing out my 500 pounds a month. I'll be able to afford a bigger facility, and I'll move into a bigger place. That's the big long-term goal.
Nice. Well, good luck with everything, Dan. I know you'll be successful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, he's already kicking ass, you guys. Like he's
this mushroom season. Once the farmers market starts in May 7th, that's really when my business will kick off, because I'll be hitting farmers markets 2 to 3 times a week, and getting my name out there. People will start knowing where I'm at, and then we can really start making money.
Do you think? Let me just ask your opinion, since you started a business before you did. So I'm kind of doing things a little bit backwards, right? I don't have a product, right? I am the product. I am. I'm wondering if it would make sense for me to make business cards. Just, I guess, say podcast host. I mean, I do want to. My plan is to become commercial with this stuff. I do want to be selling what I'm growing. Not necessarily. I don't want to leave it at food, because I want to sell other things too, or grow other things. I mean, not just cannabis, but I might start growing flowers for a floral shop or something like that. So my point is, that's my plan, is to become a commercial grower and farmer, I could call it. Because I think when you start growing commercially, that makes you a farmer, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, kind of. Like, I don't know what the difference would be otherwise. But that's my point, is I want to get there. But now it's like, I don't know if I have something that's worth putting on a business card. But I have had people ask me for my card. But I'll tell you what, when I go into a business when I'm asking, hey, can I do a review for your place? Can I take some pictures? I've been a salesman before. If somebody's asked you for your business card right away, they're trying to get rid of you. Oh, you got a card? Okay. I'll look at this later. I'll get a hold of you. Oh, yeah, this is your number on here. Cool. Thank you. Like that's usually what people do. So it's, for me, I've hesitated getting business cards. I've had companies say that we don't use them now because they get thrown away. They get stacked up somewhere. They get put on on a board or whatever. Kelly says, my son has a great idea for stickers with your code on it.
It's genius too, because you can put your social medias on that QR card, and literally they'll QR scan it, and it'll take them to all your social medias.
So that is a good idea. But what I think is next level is taking the slaps. Oh wait, hold on, my son has great. Wait. So they already have stickers with your QR code. What I want to do is that, like they said, like Kelly was saying, like a slap, like our logo with a QR code, like you said, Dan, to go to the social media, but also put some information on that sticker, like you would see on a business card, like in a small corner, like, business phone number or an email address or something that may not be on the QR code, some way verbally, so that some people may not want to scan the code. I don't know. Anyway, I digress a little bit. I just think it would be kind of cool to make a business card that's a slap.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a sticker, but then the
that's
QR
right.
code sort of gets around all of those issues if you just scan the QR code, but not everybody's up to that yet. QR what? What's this?
She asked if you needed an Illinois food certificate to go commercial mushrooms, and no, you don't. It's pretty minimal. Basically, it's the same as growing a vegetable. I have looked into getting the insurance, and it's not required to have insurance, but insurance does help a lot for general liability reasons. But other than that, there's not really any certification that is needed to grow mushrooms.
Someone's going to be like, your mushrooms made me see funny colors. I'm suing. Ron says, I like this idea better than a business card. Yeah, like a business card that you could take the sticker off if you want and stick it on something. I don't know. Would that make no sense? Maybe not. For real, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I see the QR code stickers, which is definitely a cool idea. But the ones I've seen, it's like most of the stickers, the QR code. It's like, well, where's the cool like sticker part? Kim over there in the YouTube land. What's up? It's cards are an essential part of my business. Yeah, I mean, giving them out all day long. Like, I don't know about you guys. I have stacks of business cards that I get from places, and I'm just one of those people probably that doesn't go back and find stuff that I should. I don't know. Use them at events for asking for interviews. So having it, I guess, lends some legitimacy to you. Just by having it, the person sees, oh, they must be for real, if you have one. At least it probably helps, I would assume. That's definitely a sales technique in order to get your foot in the door. Even if they get tossed aside, they get picked up later, and they think of you again. Possibly. It's hard to cough.
Probably.
How many QR codes for my son's YouTube? What? How many QR code for my son's YouTube? You might have to reword that one, Lisa May. Then make you my own.
Now, what does that mean?
What's happening?
I believe you can connect as many social medias in one QR code as you want.
Oh, I see.
Just load them all up once you scan it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Having something to give them, because I don't mind having a tangible item, a card. And I'm not even the person that uses the stickers. I collect them. I have a bunch of slaps now, but I don't have anywhere to put them. Like, I'm not sticking them on anything, but I still kind of like them for some reason. I don't know. So it's a thing. I think it's going to be always a thing, because it's a little bit awkward when I go in there and I say, well, let me just pull up on my phone, which happens to have some cracks on the screen. Let me pull up my phone, my YouTube page, my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and that just doesn't translate so well. It would be nice to pull that up and throw them a card too. So I should get them. Definitely should. Podcast extraordinaire. Elisa made the QR code, okay? If they can go to a website, it gives credibility. Right. I mean, that way they can look at it later. A lot of times they're busy working or something. I was told to get a hold of somebody on their Facebook Messenger for a business to do an interview or to do a walkthrough. So that was kind of weird. Go to our Facebook page. Okay. Reinforces their memory of you. Yeah, it might. You go to a gas station, you see that cork board, and you see like it's just covered in business cards. It's like I never stopped to look at those, but I guess some people might. Depends on if you have the time. Stickers or magnets. Magnets are a little more expensive, but magnets would be fun too. Magnets would definitely be fun. Although I don't know about you guys, but I got a bunch of like realtor magnets on the fridge from different whoever's trying to sell or trying to whatever. And I don't really look at those too often, but I guess it does. You do see it still. Even subliminal messaging still happens. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a good conversation though. I think. It's something I need to push towards, is getting those business cards, maybe make them cool in some way. Well, what if it's a business card that has a sticker on it? So it's not the whole business. So it's still the same shape and size because of like your wallet sizes and all those. So you keep it the same size as a business card, but maybe on the back of the business card, there's a sticker that you can peel off that has a shape to it or something like that. It has a QR code on it too, or something like that. That's the way you go. Make it a scratch off to get the QR code. You have to scratch the back side is like a lottery ticket, and you have to scratch that part off in order to see the QR code for their site. I don't know. Does that sound dumb? Maybe. Who knows?
No, not at all.
Dumb ideas all the time. Go around town and just ask if you can leave a slap. They might let you. Leg where it goes. Local head shops. Yeah, so that's why I'm going to local businesses and things. I'm trying to, sort of interact with my local community as much as I love all my international friends and my friends across my country who I have become great friends with and I love dearly. And I actually have a little surprise to talk to you guys about here soon. But as much as I love everybody, I also want to cultivate local support and cultivate relationships with my local business owners and people around the area that are farmers and growers, and not just that, but small business owners that I could go to for advice, or maybe they could collaborate sometime or whatever. This was Ryan's idea, not mine. Okay. Follow us. That's right, guys. Follow Great River Mushrooms if you haven't already. The Facebook page, it looks just like that. Look at that picture there, almost like a tree. Probably are like, who's this crazy lady telling to be kind? Well, I mean, you know, when you tell someone to do anything, whether that's good or bad, they don't always like it. We got 2 people on NOK Network, another person on the NOK YouTube. We got another person on my YouTube. We got 8 people on my Facebook page, 12 people in the house. You guys, thank you very much for stopping through. Anybody that hasn't hit that like button, please do the like button thing. Also, go check out my friend Dan the Mushroom Man over there at Great River Mushrooms. Definitely going to be doing some big things. Let's see where we at. That's a great idea. Yes, with the sticker on the back. Yeah, I think it would be badass because then you have a business card even when the sticker is stuck on something. You still have a business card from that person, right? Someone's gonna snag that idea. That's fine. That's fine. 8 people on Rumble. That is very interesting. Kim, Elisa May, can you send me? So you said Rumble doesn't show up on YouTube on StreamYard yet, which is unfortunate. I actually tried to hook up my Rumble. I actually put my card in there, so it's got my $10 a month, and I went to upgrade my account to be able to stream to Rumble as well. Wouldn't let me. Error. So I'm gonna have to go back and try it again. But I would like to use that because I don't have a third place at the moment that I can use. Comments don't show either. Oh yeah, that's true. So it would actually be nice since I have multiple devices. I should follow the Rumble page for NOK, and I could pull up comments over there as well. So if you got 8 people watching over there, I bet somebody's got a question, right? What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the surprise. I left it upstairs, but what I did was I bought. And this is a total side. This is a total derailing from today's show. But I bought a board game that I would like to have some live streams where we play a board game and use that as like a fun, like maybe we could have prizes to win and stuff instead of spinning a wheel. I bought Jurassic Park Life, the game of life, Jurassic Park style. So anyway. I know it's totally random, but I saw it tonight. I was like, you know what? We could totally do that. I could control all the pieces. I could have a second camera pointed at it, you know, and have other people on the screen to play the game. Just make decisions. Survival, you know, that has a lot to do with self-sustainability. You know, survive the park, get out, pick up the rangers.
Cheers.
Yeah,
you got to add a stream key for Rumble.
Yeah, so I definitely need to. Game night, Kim. I was thinking some night of the week would be really cool to do that, and then could actually go to different games. You know, try different things, but you know, where just the host can move the pieces and everybody can be a piece and they can hang out and they can intake their medicinals, and so yeah, it could be fun. But so the farmer show is over, guys. Stay out and hang out for a little while. We're gonna have a little smoke, maybe to talk about what we're gonna do for next week. But Dan, I really appreciate it, man. I'd love to go see it in person sometime. Maybe the next upgrade, Dan 2.0, like when you've got to the next level or whatever. I'm gonna do an in-person look.
I also didn't share that cream of mushroom soup I made. That's something that I've been selling a lot of. So that's where I'm really excited to. I have this pantry back behind me has about 30 jars in it right now that I've already have canned and ready for sale.
30 jars of mushroom soup.
Well, it's a cream of mushroom. It's basically I take the oyster mushrooms, chop them up, and I add onions, garlic, chicken broth, plant butter, and some white wine, salt, pepper, and thyme. So it's a gluten-free version. It's really healthy for you. And I actually had wine to it too, so it adds a little bit more of a complex flavor.
Well, thank you, Miss Heather. Heather is
Hi,
a
Heather.
local supporter, so Heather can stop by. She can say, kiss my butt. She can say whatever she wants. She doesn't even have to be here, and she's still supporting me and Steve-O and this whole push, this whole movement that I'm trying to create here towards a self-sustainable human being. It shouldn't be so rare to know, what types of things that you can eat in your local area. It shouldn't be rare to know where your food comes from, And I'm also hearing this whole thing about factory farming where since they've done a lot of things to increase the yield in a small area, those plants still have to uptake nutrients in the soil. So what happens is where the plants are absorbing all the nutrients in the soil, yet the plants are getting bigger than what they should be for that amount of nutrients. And therefore, a lot of our vegetables and stuff are actually getting less amounts of nutrients in them, even though they look big and healthy and beautiful. And it's like, oh, there's nothing in them. That's what I'm hearing now. So I want to be conscious of that. Thanks, Heather. Appreciate it. Love you. We will probably see you. I don't know. The show's probably still going on. See what's going on later. But it's been fun, guys. I think I should probably wrap things up though, just because I don't want to overdo it. I should probably do some extra resting tonight than usual. So
yeah, we appreciate all the hard work that you put in, Waylon, and we appreciate how well you explain things. The guests that you bring onto the show are obviously very interesting, with Dan the Renaissance Man, Dan with the soup in a can,
Dan the Soup Man, yeah. So check this out. Listen. Woo! You see it? You see it one more time? Woo! Okay, sorry. It just came to me. I had to do it one time. Twice. I did it twice technically. Dan, I don't think Dan got it. Dan, I'll send you a message about it later.
I got it.
I'm just fucking with you. Just kidding with you. I try not to, the F-bombs I try not to do as often. I didn't mean to throw that one out.
Well,
go ahead.
I also want to remind everybody that tomorrow night we also have the Indoor Farmer Reviews.
Oh, yeah, that one will be a little light on the content from my part, but I think like we saw last week, Steve-O, if I just go to their Facebook pages for the places that I went to, a lot of times they have some pictures, some good pictures from the place. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do that. Partly was they were busy places and I couldn't get to anyone management wise and whatnot. So I'm going to use the few things that I did get, and we're going to go check out their Facebook pages. So it may not be, the show was going a half an hour, but we started going like an hour or two now. So technically it'll still be plenty of content. So tomorrow's show is going to be fun. Tomorrow, 8:30 Central Time. The Indoor Farmer Reviews. Thank you. Kasia, are you laughing at me? Mm-hmm. Got Valerie, yes, I believe that's what we're doing, trying to tease it. But yeah, so let's see. Tomorrow is Tuesday, then we have Thursday's People in the Boxes is going to be really exciting, right, Steve-O?
Yes, sir.
We can't tease it yet because I haven't decided on a topic.
Yeah.
We do have some special guests for sure. Special guests, special family guests, and possibly doing a cool giveaway for logoed shirts from Steve-O and myself. So
yes.
it's gonna be cool. I'm pushing for myself to get a green shirt with my logo floating in the middle. I think that's what I want.
Same here. All
right, so let's pause the music. Let's go back up here. Dan, thanks again for hanging out. Everybody, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Let's see. let's do another commercial set before we go. Definitely don't mind that at all. Let's see, 9 to 3 minute filler. We can do a full one. We'll do number 12 here, guys. Check out what NOK has to offer.
Knock Network presents Peace News and Views. Patients everywhere advocating cannabis evolution. Our 90-minute video podcast speaking to people in the cannabis space with Kim Cooper. We interview patients, entrepreneurs, and professionals in both the grassroots and corporate sectors. We also review current events from around the globe and examine the evolution of cannabis acceptance and advancements being achieved globally with reintegration of this medicinal plant back into society. So join us Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Peace, News, and Views, where all consumption is medicinal consumption on KnockNetwork.com. Follow and subscribe on social media and streaming sites including Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook.
I got $100 bill, man, you can keep your pills there. It's all going on.
Are you a Northern Ontario resident? Searching for credible information on cannabis as a medicine? No Sir is here to help. Established in 2013, Northern Ontario Cannabis Education and Resources is here for you. No Sir Director Kim Cooper brings you 45 plus years experience utilizing cannabis as a medicine and is spreading the education across the North. Activism, resources, referrals, and more at No Sir. Don't be a jackass. Say no sir to cannabis propaganda with No Sir. Find us at www.nocer.ca.
Green Irene's transformative health and wellness coaching. It's hypnotherapy, NLP, and cannabis strategies that will help you change your unwanted behaviors and habits, control chronic pain and illness, beat the blues, and so much more. Train your body and brain. Create an empowered you. Book a discovery call today and get started right away at www.greenirene.ca.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite rightly.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Quite right.
Mel is combining natural medicine, self-reflection, and feelings to create works of art from a variety of mediums on Mellow Out with Mel, using nature, gratitude, and plant medicine to inspire her expression through art. She will be creating art pieces, chatting with guests, sharing insight, as well as mellow out strategies, and much, much more weekly on this live video podcast.
And if you want cup power fill,
come and mellow out with Mel. Let's get creative, reflect, breathe, and chat weekly to grow our human spirit.
They call me Mellow Yellow
on NOK Network.
Join us at NOK Network for Psychedelic Tuesdays. Tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Psychedelic Reporters. Bufo Alvarius is scouring the newswires for stories being reported in mainstream media of the psychedelic front. Passing them off to Ron McNabb along with his rotating joint hosts so they can bring them to you, our listeners, in this 60-minute video news podcast.
Tuesday evening news.
Join us on Psychedelic Tuesdays each week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for all your news and information from the world of psychedelic medicine.
Good night, everybody.